Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Allen. This is WNBA Weekly, the show where twice a week, usually on Mondays and Fridays, I talk about things that have happened recently in the association and things that I'm looking forward to in the upcoming days. First of all, we've got a few veterans making headlines. You've got Tamika Catchings. On Wednesday, she only needed 3 more steals to get to 1,000 for her career, and she had 5. So congratulations to Tamika Catchings for becoming the first woman in WNBA to ever have 1,000 career steals. That's something that'll never be changed. Someone else may someday come along and get more than her for their career, but she'll always be the first. And then there's also Delisha Milton-Jones, who has now played 496 career games, tying her with Tina Thompson for the most career games played. And, there's enough time left in the season that she should be able to easily make it to 500, which, once again, even if someone someday gets more than her, you can always say you were the first to 500. So that's something amazing. And then in some bad news, or at least I feel really sad about it, Sophia Young-Malcom, forward for the San Antonio Stars, has announced that she plans to retire following this season, which is sad because she's been a stalwart for this franchise for as long as I've been watching women's basketball. She's been with the Stars, and so it was definitely sad news to hear, but at the same time, it's her decision to make, so I wish her luck for the rest of her career and for whatever she does after it. And now, on to the news this week. You had a few games, not that many, but they were very exciting. First of all, on Tuesday, Lyttle led the Dream with 17 points as she guides them to a victory. On Wednesday, Candace Parker, 1 assist, short of a triple-double, and Ana Dabovic had 18 points, including hitting the game winner with 6 seconds left, so that as the Sparks end the Fever's win streak and they win their third straight. And then on Thursday, you had the Fever versus the Sun, and it was a much closer game than I thought it would be, and it came down to Leilani Mitchell hitting a 3-pointer to beat the buzzer and give the Mercury a 1-point win. And after all of these things, all season long, Elena Donne has been the leading candidate for MVP. And I think she does deserve to win. I wouldn't be upset if they picked her. I wouldn't be upset about Maya Moore or Tamika Catchings. They deserve it as well. But for me personally, lately, I have changed my mind. I think I want it to be Candace Parker. I mean, if you see what the team did without her, you can see the impact that she's had. They won 3 games the first half of the season without her. And then with her, they won 3 out of the first 4 games where she was playing. It seems like every single night she's always 1 rebound or 1 assist or 2 steals short of a triple-double. I mean, she's making an impact on both sides of the floor, and she makes them better statistically in every area just by being there and being present. There's nothing against Delle. I would not be upset if she won. I would not be upset if it went to Maya or Tamika. Just if I had a vote, I would go with Candace. I just felt like that needed to be said. And now, moving on to some of the games that you can look forward to this weekend. We've got a lot of action, and anyone that you can see is worth checking out because it is playoff time. In fact, playoff intensity has been around for over a week now because teams know that there is plenty at stake and not a lot of time to make too many mistakes. New York, they're in first place, but if they go on a 2 or 3 game winning streak, they could still slide down to 4th. And honestly, Minnesota and Phoenix are the only ones that have clinched a playoff berth. No one has been eliminated yet. So, imagine it's some sort of weird reality where the Fever and Liberty lose every game from here to the finale, and the Dream and Sun win every game from here to the finale. It's not going to happen, but that's why you play the game, because if something strange like that did manage to happen, those standings could get all shuffled around, man. It's a very close race right now. You've got Phoenix and Minnesota. They've clinched a playoff berth, but Phoenix still has a chance to unseat Minnesota in that number 1 seed. And then you've got, the Sparks right now trying to fight for that third seed with Tulsa. And also, but if, like, let's say Parker went down and she misses the rest of the year with a broken hand, if she was out and the LA couldn't get another win, then suddenly the Stars and Storm are right back in the playoff mix. Well, maybe the Storm are. It's hard to say the Stars would be. But, there's a lot that's still very much up for grabs right now. So, be sure to check out any of these games which you can. All of these times are being announced Eastern Standard Time, and I will tell you which ones are being broadcast nationally, but for the rest, you can check your local listings, or you can catch every single game on WNBA Live Access. So we'll start with the games being played on Friday. First of all, you've got Phoenix at Washington at 7 p.m. Both of these teams still fighting for playoff seeding right now. And you've got one team, Washington, which is known mostly for its depth, versus Phoenix, which is known mostly for its size and athleticism. It'll be an interesting matchup to watch. You've got Atlanta at Indiana at 7 p.m. And, usually this is an Eastern Conference Finals, but as of right now, it doesn't look like Angel versus Tamika is going to happen in the playoffs, so enjoy it now while you can. Then you've got Minnesota at New York, the battle of the number 1 seeds, a potential finals preview. Each one of them is at the top of their respective conference and looking to hold on to that number 1 seed. So a win here is still important for both of them, and expect them both to come and play with some intensity. It should be fun. Tina versus Sylvia. That should be a fun matchup to watch. Then you've got Los Angeles at Tulsa. That one's on NBA TV at 8 p.m. And, if LA can get enough wins together and Tulsa can just lose a few here and there, boom, Sparks in the 3rd seed. And then you've got San Antonio at Seattle at 10 p.m. on NBA TV. That one's a doubleheader. And you've got the Stars currently on a 5-game losing streak and currently still winless on the road. It's been a long season for Stars fans. And then you've got some games on Saturday. You've got 2 games. First one is New York at Connecticut at 7 p.m. And, the good news for Connecticut is that New York, they're coming in, they're on the road for the 2nd night in a row after having to face the Lynx. So that's the best thing, that's the best news that you can have for Connecticut fans. They might have some chance. And then you have Chicago at Atlanta at 7 p.m. on NBA TV. And, Chicago, they're under 500 on the road. They're 2-1 against the Dream, but both of those 2 wins were in Chicago. The one loss was in Atlanta. But also, there's Erica D'Souza for the first chance to play soft against her former team. So there are those storylines to pay attention to. And then on Sunday, you've got Indiana at Tulsa at 4:30 p.m. And then you've got a whole bunch of games on TVs that day. Yeah. It's early in the morning. I'm really not a morning person. I'd actually prefer to do these at night, but I just didn't feel like it last night. Anyways, you've got San Antonio at Los Angeles at 7 p.m. on ESPN3. And then you've also got Connecticut at Chicago at 7 p.m. on ESPN3. And you've also got Phoenix at Minnesota at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. So if you don't have 5 TVs in your house, actually just 3, you can always get the Watch ESPN app for free. I've got that on my tablet, so you can watch one of them on TV and then flip between the other 2 on the tablet. If you want to catch all of them, and then at the last game of the week on the schedule, you got Washington at Seattle at 9 p.m. on NBA TV. Seattle, they're continuing their homestand. Washington, they're starting a 4-game road streak. So, they want to get it started with a good win. So, yeah, you've got a lot of great matchups being played this week. And that's it for this edition of WNBA Weekly. Tune in on Monday for another all-new edition. Until then, this has been The Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Nile. It's almost September. Playoffs are right around the corner.